Yo, 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 what's good, everybody? Welcome into a brand new episode of the Guru Nation Power Hour. Yes, sir, we are live, launched into space here on this Tuesday night. Spencer the Guru here, ready to talk all things fantasy football week 10, waiver wire ads, trade talk, stock up, stock down. We had the NFL trade deadline today. I know a lot of y'all's fantasy league trade deadlines are coming up, so we'll have all the latest on that, as well as my Saints, who were in the news for not so good reasons this week, but necessary things. Dennis Allen fired. Marshon Lattimore traded. I was very much on board with both of those moves. Long overdue. Saints have been needing to hit the reset button. It took 7 straight losses for them to finally wake up and realize that. But, I mean, it is a results-oriented business, so the results weren't there, so they decided to shake things up. About damn time, because sometimes you can kind of look beyond the results and see that things aren't really trending in the right direction, and I feel like the Saints deluded themselves into thinking they were trending in the right direction. I had been saying they weren't. You know, I keep up with the team, live here in NOLA. Shout out to all my NOLA, Louisiana Peeps 504, baby. So, yeah, it's I don't know, man. Like, it's tough to swallow it at first, but honestly, I think we'll be better off in the long run. So no one likes a rebuild, but hey, sometimes change is good. A lot of times it is. So yes, sir. Yes, sir. King D LBC. What up, King D? Appreciate you rocking with us, my boy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, we're just gonna get right into it this week. I know a lot of times I tease y'all with the waiver wire stuff, but this week I think we're just gonna get right into it. Just talk waiver wire ads right away. So if y'all don't have any objections, we'll do just that. Oh yeah, and then we'll have the In My Humble Opinion segment. Can't forget that after the fantasy talk with Bogard Scott free. We'll have him on around the 11:15 mark. My apologies. We started a little late here today. Got a little delayed. Normally start right at 10:30 Central. Had to push it back 15 minutes, but we are live and ready to go. So let's get into it, y'all. Waiver wire targets. Oh man, I didn't update the week thing, man. Technical difficulties. Let me do that. That's gonna bother me all night. So let me tease y'all for like one more minute. So basically, it's just I was going through the waiver wire stuff today, and I think this is a good time to make some moves because we're kind of getting some intel with the NFL trade deadline. You know, you kind of know some guys that are going to get in the mix more now that targets and stuff have gotten freed up, and then all the injuries, some of the big names that got hurt, Dak and CD both got hurt last week. Drizzy, Drake London, he'd been having a good year. I kind of had to eat my words about him, but he got hurt. So keep an eye on that. So we got some things to monitor with all the damn injuries, because the injuries, there's no shortage of injuries again. And right, facts, yeah, we late, but we give the good info. You know, you might have to wait a little while, but we're gonna give you that good game here on the Gen Wealth Net and the Spencer the Guru channel. That is for sure. Appreciate you, Bogey. And so, yeah, we'll have that good game for you here. Ear to the streets, Lee. I'm sure he broke it all down this morning on Wake Your Game Up as far as all the injuries. We do Wake Your Game Up on the Gen Wealth Net and Guru Nation. And Heart to Start, Peacock's channel, all live at, I believe, like 10 a.m. Central, 10:30 or so. Yeah, usually 10:30 Central. I need to start hopping on. I keep saying I'm going to start hopping on it again. I always get tied up. So hopefully this Friday I can finally live up to my word with that. I've been kind of bad about that, but yeah, we try, man. Just juggling a lot, but yeah, let's shout out Peacock real quick. The neonpeacockmerch.com, couldn't do it without him, and we forgot to play the intro. I'm so damn scatterbrained tonight. Let's play his little ad here, the Neon Peacock merch. Pull that up here real quick, and actually we'll play his commercial toward the end. We're gonna play the intro first. Let me pull up his site for y'all. neonpeacockmerch.com, so y'all can go check that out. There it is. Boom. neonpeacockmerch.com. So yeah, we'll play his little commercial at the halfway point of the show, and then yeah, we'll get into it here with the waiver wire. I'm glad I caught myself before I just jumped right in, because definitely can't forget the Power Hour intro joint. So let's play that thing right here, and we'll have waiver wire talk for you right after this. shout out to Peacock for that dope intro. Kaka! And cheers everyone watching. We passed the first 5 minutes, so crack one open, y'all. Shout out to my last Stella Artois for a while. So yeah, shout out to Stella. Cheers, y'all. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A little heavier brew than I usually drink. I usually just drink the cheap light stuff, but yeah, I like that Stella. It's more of a full brew. So yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, let's get into it here. Waiver wire talk. QBs, baby. We'll start off with the QB position. Matthew Stafford, y'all. Matthew Stafford. I had him on here last week. Have him on here again. People keep sleeping on Staffy, man. Like, he's got his weapons back. When Stafford's got his weapons, he is definitely a high-end QB2 at QB1 upside. He doesn't run. I understand his upside's capped because he doesn't run. But, man, with his weapons, man, it's like he has a very stable floor, and he gets Miami this week. Miami is a pretty stingy secondary, but going against Tua, I think that's going to be a shootout. We haven't gotten what we've wanted out of Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Puka. It's been a rough year for those that drafted the Rams and the Dolphins receiving core, but I definitely think that am I in the Matrix, man? Man, I think I'm in the Matrix, y'all. Let me take a sec. Man, it still looks fuzzy. We'll run Peacock's commercial in the meantime. This has been a rocky launch, but we're getting through it here. Guru Nation Power Hour. We will be right back if I can. Lord, my bad, y'all. This is a mess. Oh, Lord. Damn Matrix, man. It always hits at the worst time. The Matrix has no mercy, man. No mercy whatsoever. Jesus. Live TV, people. For those watching the replay, this is a live show, so if it sounds bad right now, my apologies. Just skip through it. It's I think we're just kind of stuck right now. Yeah, let me try refreshing, y'all. My bad. I say my bad. All right, here we go. I think we're good now. Testing. All right. We are rolling again on the Guru Nation Power Hour. All right, appreciate you, Bogey. Yeah, we're straight now. All right, bet. Yes. Let's go. All right. What I was saying before the Matrix really interrupted me was that Matthew Stafford is again a good spot this week going against the Dolphins. Because I think this is a week where we finally see our Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, and Jalen Waddle shares deliver. And I know it's been a long time coming. If you drafted those guys, probably kind of pissed off right now. They haven't lived up to the hype, but they're finally healthy and rolling now, going against each other. I think it's a good matchup. So I'd look to Stafford if you need a QB. Russell Wilson, dangerous. Steal his country. Let's mine. We can't joke about that, but I mean, he's got Steelers country looking pretty good. Shout out to Blitz with Blake, BW. Cheers to Blake. He'll be on hopefully next week. His job is very demanding there. He's higher up at the car dealership out where he stays in Wisconsin. So yeah, shout out to B-Dub. He's always busting ass, working hard. So yeah, cheers to Blake, man. Hopefully he can join us next week. Oh yeah, but yeah, Russ. I mean, pretty good matchup. I think they get the Commandos this week. You know, it should be a back and forth going against the kid Jaden Daniels. Had a hell of a rookie season. I'd say he's a lock to win Rookie of the Year at this point. Even though they've got a lot of other good rookies. I mean, Bo Nix has been trending up lately and stuff. Like Caleb Williams been trending down. I'm trying to think who else. Malik Neighbors. I mean, if it wasn't for freaking Jaden Daniels, I feel like Malik Neighbors would be a shoe-in for Rookie of the Year. But yeah, it's just it's tough. He got all these good rookies, but yeah, I think Russ is in a good spot. Commandos defense definitely better this year, but still a little vulnerable. So I think Russ is a good one if you need help there. And then Daniel Jones against Carolina. I mean, none of these are sexy additions. I mean, you're not gonna find fucking Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson on your waiver wire. Let's just be honest. But excuse me, yeah, Daniel Jones though. as Bogey calls him, Danny Dumbass, not the most reliable, but in the right matchups, he can be really good because of his rushing ability. And going against Carolina, I think he's going to go crazy. Carolina, probably the most down bad team in the NFL outside of my Saints. They just beat my Saints. So I don't know. We might even be worse than them. That's really scary to think about. But hey, I mean, if that's his number one pick, so be it. But anyway, yeah, he's got, and as Bogey points out, the most fantasy friendly schedule the rest of the way. Wow. Okay. Well, then that's even more reason to pick him up. I'd probably make him then if your number one priority out of QBs, then, because then he's someone you can stash on. You can play him here and there, stash him, and then if your starter would get hurt, like say if you're a Dak owner that lost Dak, then it's like, well, you got Daniel Jones in there, and he's got an easy schedule. So yeah, I like Daniel Jones as an ad moving forward. Faux show. All right, y'all. Running backs. Let's talk running backs here. Got a few names on here. The first one I'd like to touch on is the obvious one, Ray Davis. I mean, let's just be honest, y'all. Ray Davis is an explosive playmaker, even though Henry had been getting opportunities. But, I mean, James Cook hadn't been all that great the past few weeks to where starting to think they're going to have no choice but to give Ray Davis more opportunities. And in that offense there, Buffalo looking explosive. Josh Allen, the Stallion, played at an MVP level. To where I think Ray Davis, if he starts getting more opportunity, he's going to be a must start in fantasy. So he's not quite there yet, but I'd go ahead and pick him up ahead of the pack. You already know people are going to be pounding the waiver wire pause to to get him. Was that a pause? I don't know. We love to just throw in pause. It's funny. But anyway, Ray Davis, thinks a good play this week as far as waiver wire. He's just too talented to have sitting on your waiver wire. He's broken so many explosive plays. He's in a great offense, and the starter in front of him been looking a little shaky lately. So yeah, Ray Davis, definitely the top running back ad if he's available in your league. Another name I like is Khalil Herbert. Got dealt to the Bengals. Doubt he'll pass Chase Brown up as the starter. Chase Brown looking pretty legit in the workhorse role over there. But I think Khalil Herbert could definitely fill the shoes of Zach Moss. Zach Moss out for the season with a neck injury, yet another injury to add to the list. But yeah, Khalil Herbert, though, I think is a good ad this week. He's someone that I think could eventually carve out a role over there. Chase Brown could end up just being the workhorse, but prior to Moss's injury, it was a committee, and Herbert's a fairly talented back, so could be worth a speculative pickup in deeper leagues. So Ray Davis is probably the only one I'd say would be a must add in like regular size leagues. All these other ones are just deep league recommendations. Trey Benson got more involved last week with James Conner being evaluated for a concussion and did pretty good in his amount of work. He had a tug and like 8 carries, was pretty efficient. So yeah, Trey Benson's a talented back. He just didn't really get drafted in a good situation to shine as a rookie. But hey, if Connor would ever get hurt, then he would probably become a must start. So yeah, Trey Benson, y'all, I would pick him up in a deeper league. Definitely as a handcuff to Connor. And even if you don't have Connor, he's just a good depth piece, kind of like Blake Corum. Because it's like if the starter would get hurt, then they're going to be in for a big role. So yeah, I'd look to Trey Benson if you need depth. Cam Akers as well is a good depth piece. He looks like the handcuff now in Minnesota. Passed up Ty Chandler as their number 2 RB. He got some work last week. Akers did. Chandler, though, was relegated to the bench. So, yeah, Ty Chandler's cooked, it looks like, for as far as fantasy value this year. Didn't get a single carry last week. So, yeah, you can drop him if you have him. But, yeah, Cam Akers looking like the number 2 over there. We all know Aaron Jones has an extensive injury history. So, yeah, Cam Akers a good depth piece if you have the space, as well as Aldrick Estime. Aldrick Estime, he's back from injury, and we all know Sean Payton loves to run committee backfields, and he already said that sees Estime having more of a roll down the stretch, as Javonte Williams just hadn't been handling business. I mean, he had a pretty good game against my Saints, but, I mean, who hasn't? We suck, so that ain't saying much, but yeah, Javonte, man, it's like he just hadn't really been handling. Jaleel McLaughlin just kind of is what he is. He's not a primary back. So Estime, man, if he can do good with his opportunities, he might pass up Javonte. So this is one, again, just a deeper league thing. I don't think he's going to pass him up just yet, but it wouldn't shock me 2-3 weeks from now if he does. I mean, Denver's a team that's contending for a wild card spot, so they're definitely going to ride the hot hand. And if Estime can pick the hot hand up, then Yeah, he's a good pickup. So in my deeper league, I definitely got claims in on him after hearing that report. So we shall see how that ends up. But yeah, definitely Denver's offense pretty sneaky. Like Sean Payton, I was ragging on him early in the season, but he's gotten that team pretty respectable. So we miss you, Sean. We miss you. Anyway, week 10 receivers. Well, week 10 waiver wire targets at the receiver position. Jalen Tolbert, probably my top priority with the CD injury. I know offense probably not going to be as good without Dak, but I think that it'll still be respectable with Cooper Rush. So Jalen Tolbert, good pickup. He's had a pretty good standalone role even with CD Lamb. So I think if Lamb misses time, he's probably for sure flex play at that point. But even if Lamb comes back, he looks like he's established himself as the number 2 over there in Dallas and just doesn't seem to be getting a lot of love. I know Dallas is kind of down this year. Sorry, Derek, Tino, and Crispy. I know y'all love the boys, but y'all ain't been handling business this year. Let's just be honest. Not as bad as my Saints, but not a whole lot better. So Tolbert, though, for fantasy, I like him moving forward. So go get Jalen Tolbert if you can. He would be pretty high on my priority list. Another one, y'all, Quentin Johnston. Quentin Johnston, I think, is a good ad this week. Justin Herbert seems to be getting more comfortable in that new look Chargers offense. He's been handling. He's been more fantasy relevant these past couple weeks because over the ankle injury that had plagued him early in the season. And QJ been one of his go-to guys. And they go against Tennessee this week. Not the best matchup. Tennessee is a fairly good secondary, but QJ, I mean, he's just looking explosive to where I think he's a must add in most leagues just as a depth piece. And the matchup's good. It's probably worth a play. He's definitely the number 2 over there. It looks like Lad McConkey, the Scottish laddie, seems to be the number 1. I'm glad to see that. I was high on him this offseason. Glad to see the laddie panning out. But yeah, QJ, a lot of people had written him off saying he was a bust, but he's looking pretty promising over there. Looking like he's definitely taken the Mike Williams role and ran with it. Might not be the most reliable on a weekly basis for fantasy, but if the matchup's right, he's good. So yeah, he's a good depth piece, I'd say. Same with Ricky Pearsall, another young wideout that I think's a good depth play. Pearsall with CMC set to come back soon. I doubt Pearsall's going to see a high volume role with the Niners, but he could be just that kind of sneaky play that's like, 4 or 5 catches, 50, 60 yards. If he gets a touchdown, it's like he's pretty good. I mean, Jawadaman Jennings looking like the number 2 there behind Debo. But the thing with the 49ers, there's always somebody hurt. Like Debo, Jennings, CMC, Kittle. I mean, all those guys seem to get banged up so much because they play such a high snap share and it's such a physical offense to where Slick Rick Pearsall, I definitely think is a good play. And yeah, facts, Bogey. Yeah, Jennings, I mean, yeah, but he's not available in most joints. So, but yeah, if he is, he was on bye this past week, so he may have gotten dropped in some joints. So, yeah, if he got dropped, then yeah, definitely make him your top priority out of any of these. But yeah, Ricky Pearsall, though, he's available in most leagues, so I'll go ahead and pick him up if he can. It's always good to have pieces of the Shanny offense. Because if you're in a prominent role over there, you're going to get a lot of volume and big fantasy points as a result. So yeah, Slick Rick, y'all go take a look at the rookie Pearsall there. And then another rookie there, Xavier Legette, I think is a good pickup with Deontay and now Jonathan Mingo out the door in Carolina. Bryce Young's got to throw to somebody, and seems like Legette might be the guy. Adam Thielen set to come back soon, but I mean, let's be honest, Adam Thielen is over the hill. Like, dude, that guy ain't anything. I mean, he'll have his role. Like, I'm not hating on Thielen. He's another one you could consider as a waiver wire guy, but I just think Legette's the better fantasy. Plays obviously a lot younger, more explosive, and I would think will be featured heavily down the stretch in the Dave Canales offense. So yeah, I would give Legette a shot if you need help there at the receiver spot, as well as Parker Washington. Parker Washington, though, is just more of if you're looking for just like a steady floor play as a depth play. I mean, Parker Washington, he's not going to be anything special, but he seems to be holding down that Christian Kirk role pretty good and hadn't done a whole lot just yet. But I think he's in store for some bigger games moving forward. So Gabe Davis just isn't it over there. Like, I mean, Brian Thomas, Evan Ingram, I mean, they've got their roles stamped, but outside of them, they don't really have a whole lot. Jacksonville's offense pretty mess, but yeah, Parker Washington, I think's a good play if you're in a deeper league and need some depth. Same with Demarcus Robinson. He's not going to keep up what he's been doing recently, but he's obviously got a big role there with the Rams. And if you need depth, he's a pretty good play. Cup and Puka are the guys, but D-Rob is a pretty good depth play. And yeah, I mean, his numbers have been too good to ignore lately. So go ahead and take a look at him if you can. Tight ends, y'all, before we move on to the stock report. Tight ends, we've got my boy Taysom, baby. Taysom Hill. I mean, Taysom's been legit, y'all. When he's healthy, he's a huge part of this Saints offense. Clint Kubiak has really learned how to utilize Taysom. He seems to be utilizing him even more than Peyton and Carmichael did, as far as he's being like, look, this guy's a legitimate weapon for this offense. He isn't just some Joker, just whatever kind of piece. Like, he's becoming like a volume guy for my Saints. Like, he's becoming someone that's seeing a lot of work as a runner and a receiver. And I mean, a tight end, it's like, if you can get a volume, like, you're automatically a top 12 option at the position, because volume is so hard to come by at tight end. So Taysom's still out there in your league. Definitely go grab him. He's someone that, if he's healthy, he's very reliable in this Kubiak offense. Saints offense very down bad as far as receivers right now. So Chris Olave suffered the really bad concussion to where he's probably out. So at least for this week, hopefully he'll come back. But it wouldn't shock me if they shut him down or something to where, like, yeah, Taysom Hill, y'all, it's he's a guy. He's not just he's fun for a week or two. No, I think he's like legitimately a tight end one the rest of the way. So go get Taysom if you can. Mike Gesicki's really been trending up lately. I think that's a lot to do with T. Higgins being out. If Higgins comes back, Gesicki's probably not going to keep up what he's been doing. But again, kind of like Demarcus Robinson, it's like his numbers lately have been too good to ignore. So if you need a tight end, go look at Gesicki. I mean, Burrow just doesn't really have much depth at receiver behind Chase and Higgins. Like, Yossi Voss never really stepped up. Let's see, Taysom Hill playing Atlanta this week. He always kills them. Yeah, definitely. He kills the whole NFC South, bro. He really does. Taysom is an NFC South killer. So yeah, I would go prioritize him for sure. But yeah, Gesicki against Baltimore this week could be a pretty good play, as well as a Jatavian Sanders. JT Sanders, man. I mean, with the Panthers receiving core being a skeleton crew, it looks like Jatavian Sanders is stepping up as in a prominent receiving role there at the tight end position. Looks to have taken over as their primary receiving tight end. And I mean, Bryce Young seems to be the guy again there. He had a good connection with him against my Saints. So yeah, I think JT Sanders is one in deeper leagues to take a look at, so at the tight end spot. But anyway, yeah, that's the waiver wire segment. Appreciate y'all for rocking. Let's take a drink and move on to the stock report. Alrighty, so stock report. Let me see what I got here. I didn't have time to cue those up on the board, so my apologies. But yeah, let's do it here. We could pull up the little chart here for y'all. We can just go through the position groups here real quick. And yeah, I've got a few written down. I just didn't have time to put them on the StreamYard joint. Kind of running late here today. My apologies. So, all right, let's talk about it here. Well, guess we'll do, what are we gonna do? Percent rostered, I guess. Projections. I don't know. Guess we'll do percent rostered. That's cool. All right, stock report. Someone I think that gets a stock. Oh, actually, we'll do this. We'll do their upcoming schedule. Yeah, so y'all can see who they got coming up. So stock up. I think Sam Darnold's someone that's been trending up. I'd say, he gets Jacksonville this week. Really good matchup. Then a couple kind of tough ones in the Cardinals, Falcons. I just think with Hawkinson back there, the Vikings a legitimate offense with Kevin O'Connell. Like, Darnold's definitely someone that's trending up. So he's a good one to trade for in super flex, or if he's available in your single QB league, good pickup. Trending down, though, I'd say it'd be Caleb Williams. He just has not been handling business. Now his ankle's banged up. Got some fairly tough, man. He got kind of a soft one this week, New England, but then he gets Packers, Vikings, Lions. That's a brutal stretch. 49ers, like, yeah, his stretch schedule is absolutely brutal. So I feel like at this point, if you got Caleb Williams in a single QB, it's probably best to just try to cut bait, maybe try to salvage and get something for him, but just looks like he's just not really in a groove in his rookie season, so might be best to just move on from old CW. Speaking of a rookie, though, that's been doing better, Bo Nix. Yeah, he's been doing well. His stretch schedule somewhat promising, but I think this is actually a good time to sell Bo Nix if you have him. He's been doing so well, and it's like I just think he's not really ready. The only rookie that looks super legit right now is JD5. I still think all the other ones are too raw to trust for like a single QB league. So I take advantage of Nix's recent hot streak. He gets the Chiefs. That's not a good matchup, really. Even though it could be a shootout, I don't know. I still don't trust Bo Nix. So if you have him, been trending up, I'd look to sell. And then someone I look to buy would be old CJ Stroud. I know he's been kind of struggling lately, but he's set to get Nico Collins back. He's got some good matchups here. He had a Lions. That should be a shootout. Dallas, Tennessee, Jacksonville. Still got his bye week. And in his fantasy playoffs, Miami, Kansas City, and okay, yeah, that is week 17. And Baltimore all should be high scoring games there. So I think Stroud's in a pretty good spot to do better moving forward. So I think he's a good buy low candidate with Nico coming back, his big dog, WR1. What up, Chase? Appreciate you, Chase. All right, let's see. Running backs. We've got Chase Brown, y'all. Chase Brown's really been trending up. His schedule, if I can find him here, where is he at? Here he is. Baltimore, kind of tough. The Chargers, then a bye. Pittsburgh, Dallas, Tennessee. Yeah, his playoff schedule kind of promising, but his next few weeks kind of tough. So honestly, and I had written him down as this, even before I looked at the schedule. I think Chase Brown's a good sell high candidate. He did so well last week, but with Herbert there, they might just sprinkle Herbert in a little bit to where, like, I don't know, man. Chase Brown, it's just bad schedule. Like, there's a lot of brutal matchups coming up. So I think he's a good talent, but I would probably look to sell him if he can with the schedule. But, I wouldn't blame you for keeping him. He's really looking really promising. But, sometimes it's best to move on if you can. I mean, yeah, I'd still probably chuck Kareem Hunt in the sell high category. I know it kind of to eat my words last week. I was saying to sell him, and he had the big week. So I actually ended up keeping him in those other leagues. I didn't really get the offers I was looking for. But that's the thing, y'all, with any of this stuff. Like, if I recommend to sell someone, don't just sell them for peanuts. Like, definitely try to get market value for them. Or if anything, try to get more than market value if they're trending up. So I would try to get, a big, like a 2-for-1, or try to get like a big piece, like for Chase Brown. If you need a receiver, swing for the fences, offer someone, try to get like a Terry McLaurin or a DK Metcalf. Don't be shy, like the worst thing someone can do is reject the trade. I mean, don't like insult someone. I mean, don't send him like Chase Brown for Jamar Chase or Jettis. But I mean, as long as you send a fairly reasonable starting offer, like any reasonable person will just be like, all right, I probably ain't gonna take this, but I'll counter it. So yeah. Javonte, though, I mentioned him earlier. He's just kind of trending down, estimate, probably getting back in there some, like, to where, yeah, Javonte, probably out on Javonte as far as, like, I just think it's probably a good time to sell, if I'm him, definitely a stock down. He just ain't been handling, but if you got him, it might be just worth sticking it out. And then ETN, though, y'all, Travis Etienne, I think is a good buy low. Tank Bigsby has just not really handled business where with Jacksonville. The offense sucks, so I wouldn't expect Travis to do amazing down the stretch. But I mean, he's got a couple of tough matchups coming up in his bye. I mean, he's got Houston, the Titans, the Jets, the Raiders. I mean, it's not a terrible schedule, not that great either. So, he's just someone I feel like a lot of people just be looking to move off ATN for cheap. He's had a bad year. I'm sure people are frustrated, but if you can get him for cheap, he could be a good buy low candidate. So keep an eye on that. At running back receivers, y'all, let's move on there. D-Hop, baby. D-Hop is hopping up the charts. DeAndre Nuke-Hopkins going nuclear last week. Had a vintage performance there against Denver. Crazy good night for D-Hop. So I know my dad was mad about that. He needed Worthy to do something, and Worthy did not. It was all D-Hop. So looking like D-Hop's a volume guy over there. Him and Kelsey, I mean, that's just a veteran team. They're trying to win their third straight bowl. So, yeah, I mean, it's just one of them deals to where, like, D-Hop, he's pretty good play moving forward. I'd say, gets a nice stock up. But, I mean, if you can try to move him, I mean, it might be smart to look into moving him. Same with a guy like a Calvin Ridley, a Cortland Sutton, these guys that they've had kind of up and down seasons, but they've been trending up lately. Could be a good time to sell that group. But for the guys that haven't really been trending up, Wan'Dale Robinson has just been in a slump lately. Guys like him and Keenan Allen, it just, I don't know, it doesn't seem like they're really getting going. Deontay Johnson, normally those guys are pretty safe floor guys. I wouldn't necessarily drop them just yet, but if they don't get going soon, they might be droppable pretty soon. So just be patient for now. But just saying, if you got some of these guys that ain't handling biz, like there's a lot of receivers on the waiver wire that have been handling biz. So don't be afraid to cut bait here in the next week or two at some of those guys I just said that just ain't really been handling lately. And the one that really went crazy last week, JSN, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. Obviously, he's a good sell high if you can. I mean, he's not going to put up those kind of numbers every week. And DK Metcalf's set to come back. He's on a bye this week, though. Could make it a little tricky, but I feel like someone would take him probably. And then the Seahawks they got to a good start, but I think people are kind of, their offense seems to be getting kind of exposed lately. Keenan Allen has 17 total targets in the past 2 weeks, right? Yeah, I mean, he's getting looks, but he just ain't really doing anything with him. He just looks washed out there. Like, same with DJ Moore. It's like, I wanted him to say DJ Moore was a good buy low, but I'm just kind of out on the Bears, man. And their schedule's brutal down the stretch. Their division's brutal. They're the worst team in the division. I don't know, man. I'm just kind of out on them. So, yeah. But, yeah, JSN, if you can sell high, I would look to do that. And last but not least, the tight end position. All right. My stock up here would definitely be Cade Otton. Cade Otton's been going crazy. He's got the Niners this week, then his bye, and then a pretty soft stretch schedule. Got the Chargers, they're tough, but outside of that, some pretty fantasy-friendly matchups. So, yeah, Cade Otton, definitely the truth here at the tight end spot. He's probably a top 5 tight end at this point with Evans and Godwin out for the forces. Well, Godwin's out for the year. Evans could be back down the stretch, but even so, I still think Otton's going to eat. Otton's going crazy. I'm glad I got him in a few places because, yeah, he's really been a difference maker. I think he's going to be one of those league winners. Like, if you have him, like, he's truly like a positional advantage. Like, so, yeah, he's one of the few tight ends we can trust. So, yeah, Cade Otton, definitely keep riding that wave. And then Hawkinson made his return to the field. I mentioned it last week, and I'll say it again. He's a good buy low. Didn't do a whole lot in his debut, but just ramping up, coming off a serious knee injury. I think in the next week or two, he'll be back to a full snap share and being a tight end one again. So, yeah, Hawkinson, definitely worth trading for if you can, because he's just someone that I think is going to continue to get better. Speaking of stock down, though, Sam Laporta, man. I mean, I kind of called this one before the season. I was out on Laporta. I'm glad I stuck to my guns on that. I got him in a couple dynasties, though. So where it's like, I hate to just like give up on the guy, but man, it's just the way Detroit's offense is. There's just not really room for anyone much outside of Monty Gibbs and Amon-Ra and a little bit of Jameson when he's in there. It's just Laporta I don't know, man. He just ain't been handling biz. Like, so it's tough. I mean, I don't know if I'd drop him just yet, but I definitely look into trying to find a new starting tight end if you can, if you have him. He's just not been very reliable. So, yeah, Laporta, man, I just the data, man. The data's it's just saying to move off this guy. Like, he's just not, as far as a starter, he hadn't been so bad where I'd say to drop him, but he's getting almost damn near droppable at this point. So, He gets to the Texans. That's not a good matchup this week. Then he gets Jacksonville, the Colts. We'll see how he does against Jacksonville. If he can't do anything against Jacksonville week 11, I'd say, yeah, it's time to move on. It's time to move on for sure. And, yeah, the pass volume in Detroit has been in the minimum. Highly efficient. They haven't had to do much. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, we'll see. Maybe he'll have a good week in Houston this week. They might be forced to have to throw it more. So, yeah, I'd hold tight with Laporta. But, yeah, I just wanted to point out how he's been struggling. Then, let's see. Did we go over? We talked about Otten, Laporta. Hawkins, it was a buy low. We got to sell high. Someone that I'm kind of, I don't know, man. The tight end position is so thin. I hate to sell like anyone that's like really good at the position. I got like a Jonnu Smith. Like he's been doing really good lately. So if you have him as a backup, if someone's down bad, you could flip him. Especially like in a dynasty. I got him in the Gen Wealth dynasty, and my team's down bad. So trying to flip him for like a late round pick or something. So yeah, don't really have a good one for y'all as far as a tight end sell high. But for those in deep degenerate leagues, Jonnu Smith. There y'all go. All right. That's going to do it here. We're just waiting on Bogey. We'll wait on him before we dish out our humble opinions. But while we wait, we'll have our Saints talk here. Let's get into our Saints talk, y'all. First topic of the night, Dennis Allen fired. He is gone, baby. 7 straight L's, and someone had to go. Someone had to be the scapegoat. And guess who it was? Oh, Dennis Allen. And I'm glad because I did not like Dennis Allen, man. So cheers. We got a new coach. Woo. Yeah, so glad about that. Screw DA, man. That guy was a bozo. Did not know how to coach be a head coach. Good D coordinator. I'll give him that. I just wanted to scratch his name out of my little book here. I got my little book with all the coaches listed. Bye. Dennis Allen. Good riddance. Oh, yeah, the Peacock commercial. Yeah, we forgot to do that. My bad, Miles. Let's run the ad here, and then we'll have more Dennis Allen shit talk right after this. Shout out to Peacock, y'all. But yeah, I just saw Chase's comment here. He hit the nail on the head. Pretty tough to start the season hot, then drop 7 straight. Yeah, ever since Dennis Allen quoted Kendrick Lamar, sometimes you're going to pop out and show them. Stupid ass. Ever since he said that shit, the Saints have lost every game. He said that after the big Dallas win and started off 2-0. And yeah, you ain't won a game since. If you'd have told me that, I'd have said, yo, you were a fucking hater and that you need to just stop ever. You should never talk about football again. Like, I feel like no reasonable person could have predicted this kind of a downfall because before the season, I was, woo, we're trying, y'all. We're trying. All right. Man, that beer kind of got to me there. My bad. But anyway, yeah, DA, man. For the season, I was down. I've been down on Allen, like in the Saints, like with this current group. I said before the season, this team probably won't win more than 7 games. But then I'm not glad they fooled me. I mean, they fooled everybody, I feel like. I mean, they didn't just start off, they dominated. I mean, they were freaking dominant to start. I mean, it was just like, it was insane. So I was just thinking, like, logically speaking, I was like, well, are they going to keep this up? Hell no. But I mean, they'll be able to at least do enough to win 9 or 10 and make the postseason, I would think. But nope. Should have figured DA and Derek Carr, those idiots, were gonna find a way to screw it up. And sure enough, My goodness. Definitely more so Allen's fault than Carr. Carr is what he is. He sucks, but he's like, his play on the field is just mid. He sucks as a person in my humble opinion. Be my first humble opinion. I can't stand Derek Carr. But as a player, he's okay. He's not that bad. He's not fucking ass cheeks. Where Dennis Allen, oh, Jesus, man, as a head coach, dude was just a clueless. So glad he is fucking gone. So good riddance. Hey, and goodbye. Get his ass out the fucking door. So let's see Bogey back there. I give a quick Lattimore take before we bring on the man himself, Bogard Scott. Free. We traded Lattimore today, y'all, to the Commandos, Washington Commanders. Pick up Marshon Lattimore. And I think this was a move Mickey Loomis had to make, because I'm going to have a humble opinion about his bitch ass in just a little bit. But, yeah, Lattimore to the Commanders, I feel like had to happen. Not necessarily to the Commanders, but they definitely had to move off Lattimore. They drafted his replacement this year in Kool-Aid McKinstry, so it's like, their cornerback room ain't too bad, where it's just like, I feel like you had to move off him at this point. You're going nowhere. Try to salvage what you can with your veterans. Lattimore was basically the only tradable veteran they had, so yeah, that was a smart move to get off him, get some picks, and a good move for the Commandos too. They're in it to win it. They're having a great season, so I think this is a win-win for both parties. How do you feel about the Michael Thomas tweets? I don't care. He kind of had some good points, but a lot of them were just fucking stupid. Michael Thomas, that guy, I have no respect for him. He's a fucking moron. He's the guy that's like, let's say, he's like the fucking guy that got dumped by his girl, and then he keeps harassing her and all this. Just shut the fuck up, Mike Thomas. It's just, I don't know, man. Let's see what Bogey thinks about that shit. What's happening, man?
You saw me laughing backstage, huh?
Yeah, fuck Michael Thomas. I don't care what he has to say.
He still has one of the tallest craniums in the game.
Yep, Frankenstein. Shout out to Frankenstein. Yep.
Man, that's one of the OG Bogard nicknames. Shout out to my man Frankenstein, aka Michael Thomas. That motherfucker 6'2", but he has like a 2-foot tall head. Anyways, I did agree with a lot of Mike Thomas's points though, because what he was basically saying is he's basically saying the ball placement and just the lack of consideration for your receiver.
Yeah, he did throw a fucking hospital ball. That was a textbook hospital ball. I bet that made Tom Brady cringe so hard, because Tom Brady always took pride in not throwing hospital balls. That was the epitome of a fucking hospital ball. God, I'll give Tom Brady some
props too, because I can't stand him calling games, but when he's calling the games, he definitely points out big flaws. He has no problems being hey, that was a terrible throw. You shouldn't. Who called that play? And even if he called that play, maybe he just. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. No, it's like. It's just if he'd have just left it at the one tweet, because I agree, Carr, that was a fucking extreme hospital ball. It's like a quarterback has been around as long as Derek Carr, you got no excuse to be throwing fucking bullshit ass passes like that. That was fucked up. Derek Carr should definitely be very upset at himself for that, because that was fucked up. That was like a rookie mistake he made right there. So yeah, I agreed with Mike on that. But just all the other shit was just so petty to where after a while, I was just like, dude, just shut up. You made your point. I agreed with your initial point, but now you're just sticking your fucking foot in your mouth, in my humble opinion.
Yeah. Well, I'll set mine off. In my humble opinion, this is the bloodiest war.
The bloody war rages on. Yep.
So many have died, and the list keeps growing. And
fucked up, man.
In my humble opinion, I rather enjoy it. I love seeing people panic because they don't know what the fuck to do in fantasy. And they're fucking doomed. And shout out to everyone who just so happened to have a healthy team, because you're probably doing well. And I'm here to remind you, in my humble opinion, you ain't shit. You just so happen to have, fantasy is probably, on the totem pole, luck is probably the lowest percentage, if you ask me. It's more skill.
Oh yeah, because depth,
people,
man, you gotta have depth.
maybe,
I
okay,
got
let's
good
say,
depth. I
I'll
got
say
good
maybe it's
depth in
half
my
luck.
joints.
Maybe, you know what? 30% luck. How about that?
Oh well, yeah, there's obviously a pretty big element of luck. I can see why people get
but the people
frustrated
that
with
are
it,
lucky
but
right now are just the ones that have avoided injuries.
yeah, I feel like no one's totally avoided injuries. I feel like even in my league that I'm kicking ass in, I've had a few injuries. Like it's just, I feel like there's no one that's completely avoided them. Like you said, it's just the bloodiest war we've ever seen. Everyone's dealing with something. It seems like. Yeah, but yeah, no, I get your point though. It's like, yeah, it's a bloody war, man. Bloody war, laddie. Bloody war.
Yes.
We lost a lot of good men out there.
Yeah, and then there was Derek Carr. He's back. And losing to Carolina.
Yep, that's what I kind of figured that. I just felt like, deep down, I was thinking like, man, that was like the lowest low the Saints have experienced since the Katrina season in 2005. I was like, they're going to have to do something. I was like, that was unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. Like, you just can't have that happen. And I know my dad had brought up yesterday when we talked, like, oh, they had a lot of bad calls. I'm like, I understand that, but at the end of the day, it's a results-oriented business. And I mean, if the result is you
a lot of
losing
bad calls in games,
fucking Panthers, then your ass is getting fired, like as the head coach.
Cam Jordan literally had to come out and apologize on behalf of everybody.
Right. Actually, they all did. What I say? Oh, a lot of them did. Him, Derek Carr, and Colin Saunders are one of our defensive tackles. We had 3 players apologize. That's when you know it's fucked up.
Yeah. Derek Carr might be just trying to save face right now because
he's
en route to become like a career backer. You know what I mean?
I still I just see. Yeah, I mean maybe, but it's like I still think he's like, he's at least like,
it's my humble opinion.
Okay, yeah, he is a career backer. I still think he can start. Like I still think he's like he's kind of like a Russ, I'd say, like a mid-level QB. But the problem with him though, it's like, and I think it's kind of, like Cam Newton, for example. Like Cam Newton could still ball, right? But he, it fell out of the league because he was just kind of a cancer.
Cam Newton was bad as a passer, though. He had one outstanding year that ended up being a MVP outing. Outside of that, the guy doesn't, he as a passer, he was really bad. And
Derek Carr is a much better passer. The problem with Derek Carr, though, and the reason why he might end up a backup is because he just seems to make like really bonehead decisions, like that Olave hospital ball. It's like you can't do that, bro. Like you just can't. Like his overall body of work isn't that bad, but his mistakes are just like glaring. And yeah, that's why I think he might just be. I definitely don't think he's a Saints QB next year. I definitely think we move off him, and he might go catch on somewhere and like compete with a rookie or something. But yeah, in my humble opinion, Derek Carr is a bonehead. There you go.
In my humble opinion, this is also not only one of the bloodiest years, but I've never seen so many teams not want to win. There's
right. The trade deadline this year was crazy.
7-2 teams.
I know that sucks. Because the Saints were one of those, and then watch, if we win like 5, we don't even end up with that high of a draft pick because all these other fucking shitty teams. That's crazy, bro.
Kind of crazy, right? Like
it really is. Yeah, there's usually only like 3 or 4 of those. Like this year, though, it's like, yeah, I was talking to my coworker about that earlier today. Shout out to Chris Dave, NOLA.com prep sports writer. He was just saying, like, there's just like so many bad NFL teams this year. I'm like, hey, you ain't lying, bro. Like, yeah, there's just like 7-8 just really fucking terrible teams.
I think in my humble opinion, we're gonna get an influx of talent in these next 2 years drafts that they're hoping could rejuvenate the league for the next decade to decade. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we need some more talent, man. There's a lot of teams that just are really lacking talent right now, and so hopefully my Saints can get a new franchise cornerstone because we're definitely getting a top 8 pick.
Yeah.
So hopefully we use it wisely. But all right, so here's my next Saints humble opinion here. Saints, man. I mean, well, it was good to fire DA Dennis Allen, but we need to do more than that because guess what? In my humble opinion, the front office is a problem, a major problem at that. And it starts at the top with Mickey Mouse, dumbass Loomis, bro. That motherfucker is a bozo. He is just like, he's just that guy that's just like, he's just sitting there like, just laughing, you know, just who cares?
He's at the Christmas party, hella drunk.
Fuck it. We don't care. I got so much money. Like, you know, it's just like, fuck you, bro. Like, that motherfucker's
did they give
gotta
him like
go.
absolute power or something? Like, is the owner's hella old, right? Like,
yeah, but I tell you what, I think she stepped in with this to where I think she straight up told him, like, look, you gotta fire Allen. And I think she's getting more involved because she's old, but she's not that old. You know, like, she's in her 70s, or I mean, she's still
old.
well, you know, but it is, but she still got her mind. Like some of these, like Jerry, like I mean, I don't know. I'm talking like Jerry's losing his mind. Once you get in your 80s, it's like, I mean, there's some people that are still sharp, but a lot of these owners, you feel like are just kind of, I don't know. I mean, we don't really know what goes on behind closed doors, but just in my humble opinion, though, just to get back on track here, in my humble opinion, the front office is a problem. So I don't think it's going to happen in mid-season, but in this offseason, she needs to tell Mickey, look, you just step down and you can just, I'm sure he'll still be in the organization. Just make him like the director of, you know, whatever, director of personnel, vice president, executive, chief. I don't fucking know, but just give him some sort of position, though, to where he doesn't have absolute power anymore. I need to get someone in the general manager chair that is it up to speed with the modern NFL and knows how to build a roster. Kind of like they did at Houston when it was like Casario. Like, you need a guy like that as your GM, someone that actually knows what the hell is going on in today's NFL. And I know she does that. Like she does. So it's like, okay, yeah, if he's like family, just shift him out of the power role. No, it's like that's the problem with the Saints. They treat it like a damn family business, but so I know they're not gonna actually fire him, but demote him though. Just she's gotta tell him, like, look, Mickey, like you've been in this role for like 25 years. Like he's probably like the longest tenured NFL GM at this point. It's like, just
let's look that up.
I mean, let's do, exactly. Yeah, who is the longest tenured NFL? I mean, he's like a legacy GM at this point.
How long has he been y'all GM?
Like 20, 25 years. I think over 25 years.
You don't even need to look that up. He's definitely the longest.
No, you know who it is?
The Roonies. Oh no, the Roonies didn't even. Yeah, no, never mind. The Roonies,
Uncle Jerry. Uncle Jerry's the longest.
Okay, yeah, because
Uncle Jerry, because he said he's the owner and GM.
You know, that's one of my humble opinions.
What?
Ready? It's something I've been saying for years, Spencer.
Oh yeah, and Mike Brown looks like the Bengals owner is also his own GM.
If you are a Cowboys fan, in my humble opinion, you should want Jerry Jones to die.
Oh my God.
I've been saying it for years.
Oh yeah, you have said it before. Yeah.
I mean, because this guy, you know, I mean, he's the one running the show. It's not working.
Yeah.
If you're a Cowboys fan, look at what's going on right now. They have one of the highest paid. They have, I think, the highest paid QB, one of the highest paid receiver, one of them, second highest. You know, yeah, your defense is decimated. Like, and then now, are you a draw? Are you a draw to bring in talent that'll play for cheap? You know, on their second contract. You know, I don't know.
Well, in my humble opinion, Uncle Jerry just like had the whiff of the century this offseason with fucking not signing the King Henry, a Texas native. Like, that's got to be the dumbest decision of all time, dude. Like, and I'm glad he didn't know, because I'm glad he's with Baltimore, bro. I think he's already up to, I think he's now at a 12-piece with Tugs. He's almost already tied Gus Bus, and we've still got like half the season left. JD called that one, bro. He's going to hit for a dub. He might hit for a 25-piece at the rate he's going.
Yeah. And fun fact. You ready for this? Mm-hmm. Lamar Jackson doesn't have one carry in the 5-yard line. And
doesn't need to. And you got the King Henry, bro.
Yep.
He's like beast mode, bro. I mean, he's the ultimate goal line guy. So Baltimore, if y'all make the Super Bowl, don't pass it if you're at the 1-yard line. Give it to the King.
I got another one. In my humble opinion, I think when the Ravens are on, they look like the best team in the world. Like last week against the Broncos, you know, after the Philly special, they were like, screw that, kill them. But then there's games like against the Raiders where you're like, yo, they are not going to make it. Right? Now, to find a happy medium, in my humble opinion, I don't think the Ravens don't have the repeat MVP. I think they got him. I think he's MVP, but I don't think.
I think King Henry might win MVP, in my humble opinion.
Okay, but I don't,
because he got the Stallion that's balling too. They might just say, "We're not giving it to QB this year. We're giving it to the King Henry, bro."
I mean, in my humble opinion, I don't think the Ravens make a deep run in the playoffs.
Oh, you think Lamar chokes again? Lamar's been a fucking choke artist.
Why weren't they in business for Lattimore?
Yeah, man. Yeah, their secondary's wounded. They should have tried to make
one of the worst.
Right.
They're
yeah,
like
Humphrey isn't what he used to be. Yeah, they're a funnel defense. Yeah, watch. That's probably gonna honestly, like, man, the way it's shaping up, like, I think the Stallion and Buffalo, I think they're in a good spot. They're just kind of low key, like the Chiefs and the Ravens are the teams with the targets on their back. Like, I think the Bills this year are kind of in a good spot. It wouldn't shock me, in my humble opinion, if the Stallion finally gets over the hump. But speaking of getting over the hump, and this is one of my pre-written humble opinions. In my humble opinion, the Lions, y'all, the Lions have to take advantage of their Super Bowl window this year. This kind of reminded me of like the 2009 Saints, right? One of those like magical seasons, you dominating, like, to where you've got to take advantage of this because you never know when you're going to go back. I mean, the Saints had a bunch of good teams after that, but guess what? They could never go back. So the Lions, bruh, you've got to take advantage of this. You've got to get to the Super Bowl this year. Because if you don't, I mean, shit, Ben Johnson might leave. And when Ben Johnson leaves, they're going to have the offense probably ain't going to be as good. And then Aaron Glenn might leave to their DC. So it's like, bro, like Dan Campbell, man, you got to view this as like this might be your only chance potentially. So, yeah, this is they're so good right now. I know their division's tough, but, I mean, the way they're playing, they should get there. And, I mean, it's one of those things where I just feel like they've got to get it done this year. They've got to break the curse if they're going to do it. So, Lions, don't fuck off. Don't fuck around. Don't fuck this up. I mean, this is y'all's chance. Don't fuck it up.
In my humble opinion, I think the Cardinals are fugazi. But they're fucking leading the division right now. I just wanted to throw that in. I just made that one up.
Yeah, they've been kind of sneaky. A good thing for if as a Niners fan, you don't have to worry about them. The new Call of Duty game came out, so Kyler Murray's about to go. Yeah, you don't have to worry about them. It's statistically proven. And the new Call of Duty comes out, Kyler Murray's play goes down the toilet. So
I have. Do you have
in
any
my
more?
humble opinion,
I have one more that I had premeditated.
Oh, okay, I got one more, and it's kind of one that's it's gonna be another. I feel like if Aaron Rodgers would ever stumble across the show, he would hate my ass because I always take a shot at him. I got another shot to take at. He's just so easy to pick on because he's such a brash figure. But this is nothing really to do with him, his personality or anything. This is just more of a big picture observation because I was just thinking, like, man, the Patriots without Brady, garbage. The Colts without Peyton Manning, garbage. Well, I mean, they had Andrew Luck, but
I mean, they had Neckbeard.
Yeah, I know, but they killed him.
I love you, Neckbeard.
Right? Yeah, no, he was great, but I mean, but the problem was they didn't, protect him. So now garbage. So and then the Saints without Drew Brees, garbage. But the Packers, without Aaron Rodgers, guess what? Still a contender. So that brings me to my humble opinion. Aaron Rodgers was the biggest product of his system, way more of a product of the system than Brady, Manning, or Breeze. I mean, Rodgers obviously still a great QB, first ballot Hall of Famer, but if he hadn't been drafted by Green Bay, I'm not sure if he'd be in the same class as those guys.
I like this one because look at who he was with, McCarthy, right? McCarthy only got to the promised land one time with him. So when McCarthy went to the Cowboys, I told them motherfuckers, oh, we're going to love Dak now in fantasy. And we're going to love CD. But god damn, they're going to never make it. Because he is a poor game manager. He's a poor situational football fucking head coach, decision maker. You know what I mean? Like, they just make, McCarthy, I'm pretty sure Rodgers just, to save face, he never shits on McCarthy in public, but man, he hates McCarthy because
the thing with McCarthy though used to be good, like in Rodgers' early years. I mean, they got a bowl together. I mean, McCarthy used to be a damn good head coach.
That was the 1 year they had a good defense.
He just didn't keep up with the times though. So then around like 2015 on, Rodgers got frustrated. So yeah, I mean, again, this is my humble opinion. I'm not trying to say Rodgers sucks. I mean, Rodgers definitely still an all-time great QB.
And I'm not trying to defend Rodgers at all. I'm just
saying,
McCarthy is it was a bad combo in hindsight, right?
Right, especially they should have probably moved on from him a little sooner, kind of like with the Saints.
Do you remember what I used to always say about the hiring in when they hired McCarthy to the Cowboys? I said, "Damn, Jerry Jones must hold McCarthy in high regard because in Jerry Jones' mind." The Cowboys are the best team in America.
We're Americans.
And did Mike McCarthy not knock them out of a bunch of situations like in the postseason? And
right,
he's like, I respect McCarthy. He's the best. Only the best beats the best. And then he brought him
because
in.
The Packers always beat Dallas. Yeah, I guarantee you that's why they hired his fat ass. Yeah,
here's my last one for the night. Right.
All right, that was it. It's Rodgers saying my last one. Yeah, my dad's saying Breeze was underappreciated QB by the national media. Yeah, I can't argue with that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue with that either. I mean,
he just gets. The problem was, like I told him yesterday, the problem was Breeze was just the thing was like Brady was the most winning, Manning was the first, and Rodgers was the most talented. Breeze just kind of fell through the cracks because he was great, but he wasn't quite the, he didn't have quite the what's the word, like the main character thing. He was always kind of like a Robin to their Batman, which is fucked up because he was right there with them.
I'm gonna agree with your pops. He's the most underrated. You know why? Because part of being great, one of the categories is how influential you are. If there was no success for a Drew Brees, they would never look at the sub, 6'2"
quarterbacks. Yeah, exactly. He helped out short quarterbacks. He helped put short quarterbacks on the map. Yep.
And what is it nowadays? Your common height is 6 foot-ish, 6'2"-ish. There's not, the prototypical 6'5", 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" quarterback is, it's the rarity now. They still exist. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, there's Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. Yeah, he still got your Giants, but it used to be almost like a requirement. It's like you had to be a fucking Giant.
Yeah, shout out to Paxton Lynch, right? I'm 6'7".
Big Ben Roethlisberger. Yep. I mean, but Peyton Manning was a fucking giant. He was like 6'4", 6'5", I think. Yeah. But anyway. But him and Michael Thomas have a head who has the biggest head.
Okay, so in my humble opinion, this is my last one in my head, right? In my humble opinion, it is the Tennessee Titans' fault. Just remember I said that. Because if we see them three-peat, the Chiefs, if we see the first ever three-peat, it is, in my humble opinion, Tennessee's fault.
Oh, because they're giving them nuke. Huh?
They just gave him a nuke Skywalker for nothing.
Fucking dumbasses, man. Yeah, it's like, it pisses me off in a dynasty league. It's like when a motherfucker like trades off like a really good veteran just for like a 5th round pick. It's like, you dumbass. Like, what are you doing, man? You just fucked the whole league up.
Yeah. That one, you know, like, look at what he's doing right now with like minimal understanding of the vast and
I know. Yeah, if he stays healthy, bro, he's old and injury prone, man. If he stays healthy, it's like he'll be like Rashi, bro. He'll be like a WR, at least a WR2 with WR1 upside.
I was so upset with it because I'm mad at Tennessee that I didn't even look at the advanced analytics for that game, because I should look at what Nuke's target market share is, because man, he's the PPR guy. He's not the biggest separator, but he's definitely one of the better route runners. So he can create separation. He could he's that touchdown with the fucking 3 defenders in his way, like this motherfucker, like it's fuck Tennessee.
Yeah, the thing is though, it's like Kelsey though, like still got the majority of the targets to where like that's why I'm not gonna say Hopkins is a 1, but at this point though, I think there's a chance he's like a top 24 guy moving forward at the position.
Yeah, I wasn't saying he's a 1, and this is more so a reality take here, because
they were really wounded, and now they basically replaced Rashee Rice with, I mean, yeah.
Tennessee do better.
You're right. Yeah, it's just I don't know, man. Yeah, those kind of organizations, it's just like, what are we doing, man? Yeah, them in Jacksonville. It's like in the Peacock, man. His Texans, they're in the fucking just the division of fucking clowns. Like in the Colts, Jags, and Titans. My God, it's like it's just like dumber, and dumbest over there.
Like organizationally, they're all dumb as fuck except for the Texans.
Exactly, yeah. So it's kind of like the NFC South this year. Well, the Bucks, it's not really because they're dumb; they're just hella wounded at receiver. And then my Saints and Panthers are really dumb. And it's kind of like the Texans, both South divisions, like the Texans and the Falcons. They're just gonna win those motherfuckers by default because all the other teams are just trash.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
In my humble opinion, there you go. That's my last humble opinion for y'all.
There it is, right there.
Hell yeah. All right, y'all. I think I'm going to wrap it up for this Guru Nation Power Hour. Any last words, Bogey?
May the fantasy gods be with you.
Yes. Please stay with. They've been with me this year. I've had a good year. Genwealth Dynasty is really the only league where I'm struggling in. But I feel like I made a good move. I sold off my veteran running back to Derek for the first. So shout out to Derek. I feel like that was a win-win for both of us. So yeah.
Yes. And the war is not over.
No, we still got a lot of it to go. So yeah, appreciate everyone. Hope everyone went out to vote today. It's election day. Hopefully that doesn't end up a big shit show. So yeah, we're keeping our fingers crossed. Everything ends up good there. So yeah, Power Hour number, I don't even know, but we've had a lot in the books. We keep in the show going. Yeah, week 10. Yep, we've kept this thing going.
Oh, it might be 9. It might be episode 9.
I think it's 10. I think it's whatever it is. We got them every week, every Tuesday evening. So yeah, we'll catch y'all on the next one, and then we got let them know about the weekly lineup. We got it's an H-Town Huddle Thursday night watch party, Wake It game up on Friday, and then Grit Don't Quit on Sunday, right?
Yep, and
OJ.
Yeah, and then I think this week it's actually going to be simulcasting to the GWN as well. So we'll be officially 7 days a week with content. Let's go.
Let's fucking go.
And shout out to the Heart to Start, man.
Hell yeah. Shout out to JD and them. Yeah, shout out to JD, Peacock, everybody, the whole gang. We'll be back, y'all. Next show will be tomorrow evening with Peacock. H-Town Huddle. Catch y'all then.